slave for one night and you can do a job the best night, whatever it is.
All right, here we go. I got 2 words for you today. 2 words. Here they are. Rinse, do. Rinse, do. You know, one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite athletes, from my favorite football team, J.J. Watt of the Houston Texans, says this: success is never owned. It's always leased in rents due every single day. The reason I love this quote, the reason it's so powerful, I got it as a wallpaper up, the reason that I come back to it day after day after day is because it reminds me of this one simple truth. No matter what I did yesterday, I am responsible for the cost of success today. That I can't pay today's price yesterday or tomorrow. Just like I can only do today's work today, I can only pay the price of today's success today. And to do that, to be able to faithfully, day after day, pay the cost of success, to know that rent's due and I'm gonna pay it, what it requires more than anything else, more than hard work, more than talent, what it requires is self-control. It requires the ability to say no to self, to put it under the control of your purpose, and then deploy self towards your goals. Say, Matt, what are you talking about? What do you mean by that? You see, my nature and yours is for selfishness to control my actions, to determine what I do. That I would look around the world and say, what's best for me, myself, and I? I'm tired, I don't want to get out of bed, so I'll skip a workout. Who cares the cost for my teammates? I don't want to study, I'd rather watch Netflix, so who cares if I cheat? So long as I don't get caught, it doesn't matter. That's selfishness driving action. That I forgot to wash my laundry, I'll just unclip somebody else's, take their stuff, and make somebody else figure it out. You see, when selfishness controls our actions, we lack self-control and we are unable to pay the cost of success. Even though the rent's due, we have insufficient funds. And so we try to steal, we try to barter, we try to grab, or even worse, we try to have an outstanding balance. I'll pay it tomorrow. I'll pay it the next day. But you know what happens eventually? When you don't pay rent, you get evicted. When you let selfishness control and drive, when there's a lack of self-control to do the work, to pay the price that's due each day, eventually what happens is you get evicted. You get kicked off the team. You get kicked off your goals. You get kicked off the path that you want to be on. You get sent down a path that you don't want to be on. You see, self-control is the act of paying rent when rent is due. That when the cost of success comes up today, you say, you know what, I'm going to put my selfishness to the side. I'm going to control self and deploy self to pay the cost today. I need to study for 30 minutes today so that I can combine it with tomorrow's 30 minutes and the next day's 30 minutes so that when the test comes, I am prepared. It's the cost I must pay. So I will say no to the lesser, studying, watching Tiger King, pouring queso on my belly button and dipping chips in it. I will say no to the lesser, and I will say yes to the greater. It's paying the cost of rent when rent is due. That self-control is about a sense of, it's not about me-ness. You see, we've seen the consequence of selfishness. We step onto the field, somebody gets chippy. They start talking, they start pushing, they start doing something at the bottom of the pile. Your sense of justice gets offended. You start feeling upset that they are treating you that way. Self-control says it's not about me. That I will take and pay the cost of being offended by what someone is saying to me so that I can pay the rent of honoring and serving and not harming my teammates. Because you know what happens when you respond or you react to someone being chippy to you. They're chippy to you and you get chippy to them out of selfishness. What happens? The flag gets thrown on who? Y-O-U. And who pays the price? Your T-E-A-M. You were selfish and your teammates pay the cost. Self-control says, I am going to check that selfishness and pay the price, the rent that is due, to die to self, to say no in service of a greater yes. This idea of paying rent every single day to be successful, that is self-control in action. That every day you would do what is required of you to reach your goals tomorrow. That every day you would do what is required of you so that you can serve your teammates just a little bit better. That every single day you would pay the price that is asked of you. That is self-control. Sometimes it looks like studying. Sometimes it looks like your diet. Sometimes it looks like the weight room. Sometimes it looks like how you act in the classroom. Sometimes it's how you interact with somebody that wrongs you. There are a million different ways that it could look, but what it will always do is require of you to say no to selfishness and to deploy selflessness for a greater cause. You see, that's success. And to be successful like that, well, the rent is due every single day. So I want to ask you this question. Are you willing to pay the price for success? Are you willing to say no to self and yes to team? Are you willing to prepare a little bit every day, even though you've got to say no to things that you want to do today? Are you willing to make it not about you and all about team? Because these things, they are the cost of success. They're the cost of self-control. Friends, I don't know your goals or dreams, big or small, short-term or long, but I do know this, that if you want to find success in the game of sports, in the game of life, it's not complicated. It's as simple as two words: rinse, do. Let's have a good one today.